The United States military protects our country to provide safety and security for our citizens. But what are we doing for them? The military as a whole has 1.3 million men and women on to active duty. 450,000 of these men and women are stationed overseas. Many of these soldiers are deployed on the front lines in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan. These stations are considered hotspots because of their war-torn status in these areas. Soldiers are exposed to indescribable circumstances, explosions, direct fire, seeing their best friend lose their life. Things that will affect them for the rest of their lives. Many will not seek the treatment they need, and others will not get enough. The study shown here was conducted by Dr. Millikan and his associates, the main objective being to measure the mental health needs among soldiers returning from Iraq and the association of screening with mental health care utilization. The conclusion of the study showed that rescreening soldiers several months after their return from Iraq identified a large cohort missed from their initial screening. In the context of an overburdened system of care, the effectiveness of population mental health screening was difficult to ascertain. In short, this means screening when soldiers return home is just not enough. Another study backing up this claim comes from Dr. Charles Hoagie. His study's objective was to assess the percentage of soldiers in need of PTSD treatment, the percentage of soldiers receiving minimal care, and the reasons for dropping out. The conclusions he reached claim treatment reach for PTSD after deployment remains low to moderate, with a high percentage of soldiers not accessing care or not receiving adequate treatment. This study represents a call to action to validate intervention. Moving on from the notion that these vets need care, these are the current options. In this article from Make the Connection, 2 types of treatment have been shown to be effective for treating PTSD: counseling and medication. Professional therapy or counseling can help you understand your thoughts and reactions and help you learn techniques to cope with challenging situations. Research has shown several specific types of counseling to be very effective for treating PTSD. Medications can also be used to help reduce tension or irritability or to improve your sleep. Currently, an example of how care is moving in a different direction, Brave Minds, discussed in class. This is a virtual reality exposure therapy that is trying to provide relief to soldiers with PTSD. Currently, there are over 60 sites using this kind of therapy, including, but not limited to, VA hospitals, military bases, and universities nationwide. So far, the outcomes have been very promising. This therapeutic step is small scale compared to the damage PTSD causes. I do not have all the solutions to this problem, but I know as a soldier myself, more needs to be done for the people laying down their lives for this country. Studies have proven, just like the 2 I have provided, that America is not doing their part in mentally protecting the people who physically protect them. On average, there are over 6,000 veteran and soldier suicides each year. Veteran suicides are 2 times more likely to occur versus non-veteran adults. In the following clip, you will hear a first account of what PTSD does to the very people I call friends, family, and heroes.
But I grew up watching John Wayne movies, playing in the backyard, playing war, just idolizing being in the military. I graduated high school. 6 days later, I was at Fort Benning, Georgia at basic training. Joined the infantry. We deployed to Afghanistan for 10 months in 2006, and then to South Baghdad for 15 months. What keeps me up and what still weighs me down is that patrol where you kick down a family's door and rip a dude out of his bed with the muzzle of your M4 in his wife's face. I got out and I moved back in with my folks in Indiana, and I was there for 6 months. I think for the first 5, I was locked in my room, just drinking every night. And I think it was my dad who ultimately more or less told me I had to go to the VA to see someone. So my PTSD treatment started with probably every pharmaceutical drug in the VA's arsenal. None of that was actually helping me. When I moved in with Army buddies, that right there ended the isolationism that I think is probably one of the most problematic things for veterans when they get out. I have to make, or at least attempt to make the world a better place around me every day, almost as if it's penance.
I hope that after watching this clip, people will start to understand that our system is broken, and we are failing our veterans. It is time for a change.